Talk about Shiloh, which is a Newbery Medal winning book. As you can see, a big gold medal here on the title, on the the cover of the book. And yeah, we're gonna do chapters 1 to 5, and we're just gonna split this book into three parts. First will be chapters 1 to 5. Next, chapters 6 to 10. And the last one will be chapters 11 to 15, which is the end of the book. Now, so this amazing book was made by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor, and he's just a really good author. And so I hope that you really enjoy Shiloh, one of my favorite books. And so, yeah. This is a great book, okay? So what are we waiting for? Let's just dive right in. So in chapter 1, right? Is I have a question. Do you think that you could have eaten fried rabbit? I don't think so. I'd be like, what? I wouldn't be able to eat that. Okay, but anyway, why do you think that Marty couldn't eat an animal that hadn't died quickly and had suffered? Why do you think that he couldn't eat that animal? And could you? Now, also, I have a question. Like, would you have wanted to live up in the hills, or would you have liked to live in the city? Which would be better, in your opinion? And like, do you like seeing animals, or are you afraid of animals? Well, I love seeing animals. I've seen bears and I've loved it. And like foxes, I've never seen that, but I would love to see foxes and groundhogs and deer. And yeah, I really like seeing them. So whenever I see them, I really enjoy it. So yeah, I agree with Marty. I really like to look at things and wildlife. Now, would you like having a .22 rifle, or would you be terrified of it? I would be terrified. Because, like, first of all, the noise itself makes my ears ring, and it's just really annoying. I wouldn't want a .22 rifle. Just give me a Lego set. That's 10 times better, in my opinion. Okay, Martin was walking, right? And so, now he sees a dog, right? And what did you think about this dog? Like, did you think that this dog was a stray, maybe it was lost, or did you think that it belonged to somebody? And when Marty found that dog, like, what did you suspect was going to happen between Marty and that dog? I thought that, like, a relationship was going to form, and that they were going to be, like, best buddies. Because dogs, they're man's best friend. And so I think that this dog, who he names Shiloh after this, I think that Shiloh is going to be Marty's best friend. Yeah, and I guessed that, right? And so, I have a question. Would you want to have a dog as a pet? And did you think that this dog belonged to anybody, or did you think that it was just a wild dog? Now, also, okay, now another thing I wanted to talk about was, how do you think of the beagle's appearance? Like, do you think that, like, what are a few things that you could guess from his past just by the beagle's appearance? Because, there's a few things that there's a few descriptions, right? Like, for example, let's see if I can find a good one, okay? Okay, so, Okay, now here's one. Something really hurts inside you when you see a dog cringe like that. You know somebody's been kicking at him, beating on him maybe. So that's sort of like he sort of cringed there, and we sort of see that his past wasn't the best, right? And then, yeah, and it also said that the beagle, there were some ribs of, the beagle had some ribs showing. And did you think that Marty was going to keep this dog or not? And since his parents didn't allow it, how did you think that Marty was going to pull this thing off? Okay, but anyway, so now, did you think that, there's Judd Travers, right? And, like, even if we don't know Judd yet in chapter 1, if you had been Marty, would you have been willing to give him back Shiloh? I want to be able to. And so, do you think, okay, now, before we get on to other chapters, do you think that Marty and this dog, right? If Marty's going to give the dog to Judd Travers, because it's not like he has a choice, then why do you think that this book is named Shiloh? There's a boy carrying a dog, so it must be really important, the dog. So how do you think that the boy maybe gets the dog back? Right? It's getting really interesting. And so, okay, so now, another thing I wanted to talk about was just Marty himself, right? What are a few, maybe 2 or 3 traits that Marty has? So I have one, is that he's loving, right? And he loves, and he's kind. And also, I think that another thing is that he's smart and clever. Yeah, because what about, he's calm. And yeah, like even wildlife, like they're sometimes skittish around people, but Marty sort of makes wildlife, he doesn't scare wildlife, right? Like, even a Shiloh here, he isn't wildlife, he's still a dog, and it sometimes takes some calmness and friendliness to really get a dog to come to you, and he's also very friendly. Okay, now chapter 2. So, how did you think that Marty was going to somehow get the food from his plate to Shiloh's mouth, or do you think that would not be possible? Well, Marty didn't get that chance, but he still gave Shiloh an egg, right? And now, so, do you think, if you had been Marty's dad, would you have just let Marty keep the dog or not? Well, I knew that it was Judd's rightful property. I wouldn't have a choice, but I would try to at least buy it from Judd first. And if that doesn't work, then yeah, maybe. Okay, so anyway, just from the start and how Judd treated his dogs, right? Did you think that he was a nice person? No, right? And what do you think are a few other things that he does to his dogs? Starves them, locks them up, all those things. Terrible. And do you think that if all those dogs had been with Marty and Marty had been their owner, do you think that those dogs would not have been lean and mean but actually nice? Yeah, that's a big chance, right? And do you think that Marty will ever get to see or get back Shiloh again? Now, if you had been Marty and you were separated from Shiloh, how would you have felt? And you can use a few words, like 2 or 3, and if you're having a good day, maybe even 5 words to describe how you feel. Or you could just use a simile, like, I felt as if someone had punched me, in the heart or something, okay? Now, chapter 3. So, do you think that Marty might be able to buy Shiloh from Judd or not? And also, do you think that his parents are going to help in any way to like get Shiloh back or not. No, I don't think so. And also, do you think that Marty can get some money? And how? And like collecting cans and stuff, it isn't really gonna help. So do you think that Marty can earn some money some other way? Huh. Okay. Do you think that Shiloh was made for hunting, or do you think that he was made for being a house dog? What do you think? And if Marty ever gets Shiloh and he reveals it to his parents, do you think that his parents are going to send the dog back to Judd, or do you think that Marty is, or do you think that they'll allow, or do you think, and actually, more than that, do you think that, do you think that Marty's ever going to actually show his parents Shiloh, if he actually gets it or not? Now, have you ever had lightning bugs die in a jar? And when they die in a jar, how do you feel? I feel a little sad, and do you think that, and how do you think that this sort of reminded Marty of Shiloh? And does it remind you of something else from your memory, or something that you've read about, heard about, or seen about? Well, seen about doesn't really seem like a real, but you know. Okay, but anyway, so, do you think that Marty will actually be able to even convince Judd to give back Shiloh or not? And just techniques on treating his dogs, right? What are a few tips that you could give Judd to treat his dogs better and have their dogs healthier and happier? Oh yeah, give them some more food. Don't be so mean and harsh. Don't kick, hit, or beat. And beating is the same as kicking and hitting, but still. And finally, another thing is be kind to them, And maybe the dogs will actually be healthy. Maybe they'll sort of get out of their mean state. Maybe they'll always be a little mean, but still, I think that the dogs will still be really good at hunting. Okay, but anyway, so how would you like it if your name was Get Scram Out Damn It? How would you like it if your name was that? What are a few name tips that you could give to Judd? I'm not very good at dogs' names, but still, not Get Scram Out Damn It, not those, right? And do you think that you would even want to give Judd those tips? I wouldn't. I would just take the dogs from Judd. And Marty's dad isn't doing really anything huge about it. He isn't reporting it to the police, which is the right thing to do, right? So do you think that Marty's dad here, do you think that he's being a little weak? And why do you think that he's just sort of blind about what Judd is doing? It's clear to Marty that Judd is mistreating his dogs. Why do you think that his dad really doesn't say anything about it? Of course, this is property and all, but why do you think that his dad doesn't really care? Maybe it's because he's worried that he's going to get fired from his job for thinking that, or maybe he just thinks that maybe Judd could sue him, or he just doesn't want to get into trouble. And I sort of do understand, but still, I think that he should be a little more stronger. And do you think that Judd is actually going to listen to Marty's advice or not? No, right? And do you think that Marty should have said what he said? He said this. He said this. His name's Shiloh, right? Do you think that he should have said that? And if you had been Marty's dad, how would you have felt about it? Well, I would have been like, wow, okay, I would be happy for Marty. I would be sad for Marty. Sorry, but I wouldn't recommend that kind of behavior. I would be like, try to keep your emotions to yourself, but I'll try to help you to get Shiloh back. I know you want Shiloh very much, and Judd is a mean old hag. Okay, so maybe I wouldn't say the last part, but Judd is a mean old hag. Well, he's not that old, but still. Okay, chapter 4. So, now his dad, Marty's dad, says this. Marty, sometimes you haven't got the sense to shut up. You can't go telling a man what to call his dog. And that sort of makes sense, right? But why do you think that it didn't? Well, it just in general, if you heard that, you would agree with the dad, right? But but Judge just changes it, right? Have you ever had an experience where something sounds good? Like if someone was just walking by, but actually like in the situation, the real situation, the other thing was good. You know, like Judd here. If we just heard this part and we didn't hear anything else, we would agree with the dad. But we do know the situation, so we're like, Dad, Marty's right. Okay, do you think that Judge Travers might shoot a dog? And do you think that, do you think that Judge could shoot a dog? What do you think, do you think that, Marty will ever get a dog? Or do you think that's gonna be impossible? And also, Marty finds Shiloh. Awesome, right? Shiloh ran away again. And now Shiloh is with Marty. Awesome, right? And so, do you think that Marty will, bring back Shiloh even if Judge Travers requests that? And also, what did you think that Marty was going to do? But anyway, Marty is a genius, right? He made a good place for Shiloh. And do you think that Shiloh's gonna live like that for the rest of his life? Or do you think that either Judd or his parents are going to find out? It's getting scary, And do you think that Marty should do this? And technically, do you think that it's against the law? And if Judge sues Marty, do you think that Marty will be able to stay out of jail or juvenile hall? I mean, the judge doesn't understand. I mean, no offense to judges, but still, they don't understand what Marty is going through. So probably not. But we understand, so we know how Marty feels, and we can connect, right? And so if I had been a judge, I would be like, I understand. Judd, 5 years in prison. Okay, that's a little too harsh. What about this? 10 days in prison, and also you're going to have to pay a $500 fine and do 1 month of community service. Ha ha ha. I know, it's just so, it would be so fun to do that. Okay, but anyway, so, did you find it strange that Shiloh didn't bark? Or did you think that maybe Shiloh was too scared or too excited to bark? What do you think? And also, what do you think that, how do you think that Marty's going to manage to feed Shiloh? And again, do you think that Judd is going to find out about Shiloh? And also, what do you think will be some of the things that Marty will do with Shiloh? And if you had Shiloh, then what would you do with Shiloh? I would do fetch, just play together, roll around, pet, all those things. And Marty also does run, and that would be fun, just running around. So yeah, that I would definitely add that to my list. Now, chapter 5. So there is problem number 3, which is how am I going to get food out of the house enough to feed Shiloh twice a day without Mom noticing? Mom noticing, right? And do you think that's even possible? And do you think that you will be able to pull it off? I don't know, maybe not. Do you think that Marty's parents are going to find out? Now, but anyway, do you think that if Judd even if Judd just says, "Give me back my dog, Marty," well, not like that. "Give me back my dog, Marty." Do you think that Marty will give it back to Judd? I don't think so. And also, how do you feel about Judd? I mean, not Judd, but Marty lying to his parents. Do you feel bad or do you feel excited that Marty's keeping a secret? I feel sort of excited, but I also feel that maybe it would be better if everybody knew the truth, right? Okay, so that Marty couldn't have to lie about it. So, if you had been Marty, would you have wanted friends over or not? And if any friends do come over, what do you think might happen? Maybe the friends are going to find out. Uh-oh, so no friends, right? Okay, they were just all relaxing. Then Judd Travers' pickup had to come. I mean, seriously, worst timing ever. And did you think that was when Judd Travers was going to find out? And if you had been Marty, how would you have felt? And you can use 3 or 4, maybe if you're a good day, 5 or 6 words to describe how you felt, or a simile. Let's do a simile. Okay, a simile. Okay, I've got one. Is this? I felt as if a fist had gripped my heart, terrified, my heart beating quickly. Okay, so do you think that Judd, when he finds Shiloh, what do you think that he's gonna do? Judd says this. Wait, let's see. Okay. Judd says this. "I swear to God, I find him this time. I'm going to break his legs." And another thing, I think that. Okay, and he also said this. Okay, he said this. I got to teach him a lesson. Whoop him good and starve him lean. Wonder if you see him. Whip him and starve him lean. Ugh. And finally, I think that he said something else, but anyway, so, but right now it isn't here. But anyway, when everybody turned to Marty, if you had been Marty, would you have broke under the pressure, or would you be strong, and would you be like, "Didn't see any dog, except for 2 other dogs, like a German Shepherd and a small gray dog"? Do you think that you could have pulled that lie off, or would you be like, "Fine, I have it over there. Come on, let's go." I would be like, "I give up. I surrender. White flag." For peace and surrender. Or do you think that you would be like, I don't know. How would you be like? What would you say? Okay, but anyway, do you think that Judd can get away with even maybe shooting Shiloh and the sheriff won't notice? Or do you think that Judd can't do that much? And I have a question. What do you think will be one of the things that Judd did when he was a little kid? He's a bad person, so what do you think that he did when he was a little kid? One thing. Maybe he stole lunches and he punched kids and he got into juvenile hall 10 times, maybe more. And I have a question. Why do you think that Judd is such a bully and so mean? What might be a few reasons? Maybe he was treated badly, or maybe his mother or father or the person he lived with, maybe he set a bad example for Judd, and so Judd was maybe treated badly, right? We don't know about that, but we can predict, we can think, we can guess, and that makes the book a little more whole. The gaps we try to fill in. And it's really fun about books because you can fill in the gaps, you can make the story into the depths, you can look into the story in the depths, and it's just really fun. And okay, but anyway, I was so surprised to see time had flown by. Already we finished our 5 chapters. Now, maybe next time, if time has flown by so quickly, maybe next time I'll just do 10 chapters. I'll have to think about that, but anyway, yeah, I hope that you really enjoyed chapters 1 to 5 in Shiloh by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor. Few last questions. What's your favorite part so far, chapters 1 to 5? I guess that when the run with Shiloh, I really like that. Then what was your favorite character in the book? Shiloh or Marty? Marty. Even the Shiloh's like my second, like my second favorite character, almost my first favorite character. What's your least favorite character? Judd. Like, definitely for me. Now, how did you like the book? Fun to review? How did you like the book so far? Like, think back and be like, I loved it. I hated it. I was okay with it. Well, you know how. You can see from my how I'm enthusiastic that I love this book, right? If I hated the book, I would be like this. Should I imitate how I would be? I would be like this. Hi guys. Let's read this book, Shiloh. This is by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor. And, well, you can see that I'm so enthusiastic, so you can see that I just love the book. Then also, what do you predict is going to happen next? Like, what are a few things that Shiloh and Marty might do together? Do you think that Marty's parents or Judd is going to find out? Do you think that and also finally I have a question is, do you think that Shiloh and Marty, right? They love each other a lot. And do you think that somebody might actually like uncover their secret? Someone else than Judd or Marty's parents? What do you think? Like, I mean, Marty has 2 sisters and friends. They might find out. And if they find out, what do you think they're gonna do? Well, guys, I hope that you really enjoyed chapters 1 to 5 in Shiloh. And so, this is just an amazing Newbery Medal winning book. Phyllis Reynolds Naylor, awesome writer. And so now, just relax, kick back. You've done a lot with me. And just be like, I read chapters 1 to 5 in Shiloh, and soon I'm gonna finish this amazing book that every kid in the world should at least read once. Well, almost all the books every kid in the world should read once at least. And yeah, again, have a great rest of your day or night. I want to be fair tonight. And keep reading because it's awesome. And yeah, I hope that you really enjoyed being with me.